Jack Brown, I love you so, and I want you to know that I'm gonna miss your goals the minute you walk out that door. Please don't go, don't go, don't go away. Please don't go, don't go, 'cause I'm begging you to stay. Please don't go. Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of Dog Turds into Diamonds, here with AFC Rushden and Diamonds. And as you saw from the intro, we have a little bit of a worrying issue. Jack Brown, who has been absolutely superb for us this season in the number 10 role, he's our top assister. He's also got 10 goals in all competitions this season. He wanted a new contract. If we take a quick look at the finances, we are currently about £20 a week over the wage budget. So we've maybe a little bit of flexibility in it. But he is on £140 a game on a non-contract. He wanted a full contract. He obviously realised that he's a very important player in our team. And he started off asking for over £300 a week, which would have put him amongst the top earners. I was trying to get him down to £240 a week. He came down to £250. I finally accepted £250, but I didn't offer him the goal bonus or the appearance money that he wanted, and he rejected the contract. And as a result of that, we have got a bid for him, or rather, we are going to get nothing out of it. He has got a bid from Cheshunt because he is on this non-contract. He can go wherever he wants if somebody offers him a good enough contract. So Cheshunt have come in for him. I cannot imagine that they are 10th in the Isthmian League Premier Division. You can see I've really practiced that one. They are 10th. Why would he want to go to a mid-table Isthmian League team? But the answer, I suppose, is because he might be able to get more money. Now, I can't imagine they'll pay him £250 a week or more. Hopefully he will reject that offer, because if he doesn't, we are really, really struggling for a replacement. The only player that I have in the squad that can actually play there, well, I mean, Connor Furlong can play there, Bell Toxtell can play there, but you can see, I mean, he is just nowhere near comparable to Jack Brown. So, I mean, I'm kind of thinking we might end up going 4-2-4 for the rest of the season if Jack Brown leaves, or even a 4-3-2-1. I don't know. It's just maybe we start playing with a defensive midfielder instead of a number 10. Now that we've got Demalio Brown-Sterling up front, he kind of doesn't rely quite so much on having support around him. But it is a problem. Hopefully Jack Brown is going to stay with us, but it's something I do have to think about. So as you saw from the league table, or maybe you might have seen from the league table, we are in 3rd place in the league, which is actually quite pleasing, because when you were last here, we lost 2-0 at home to Tamworth in a game that we, of course, really had the better of, but we just couldn't score a goal, and we got done twice on the counter-attack. Our defensive frailty showing up again. That was after losing 3-2 away at Hitchin after 11 games unbeaten in the league. We then went away to Peterborough Sports in a little local derby, and as you can see, we lost 2-1, but that is not the full story. You can see we were much the better team again. We had 62% possession, 12 shots to their 8, 5 on target to their 4, a better XG, They scored 2 goals with a 0.54 xg. Really, really irritating. The second half, you can see they scored in the second minute, so they scored from basically the first play of the game. Tom Lorraine on off the bench with the equaliser in the 79th minute, assisted by Gyasi, who has been playing very, very well. But then 4 minutes later, we concede again, and I think that was off a corner, and we end up losing the game 2-1. So we've got this situation here where we keep dominating and controlling games, but we are just not good enough defensively. And you can see Dean Snedker played a 6.4 in this game, which was very disappointing. Demalio Brown-Sterling was poor as well up front. And then, well, we recovered after that. A nice 2-1 win at home against Royston. Again, it was Tom Lorraine coming off the bench who made the difference in the end. Another game where we completely dominated. And when Bateman equalised in the 68th minute, it looked like we were going to drop more points. But fortunately, Tom Lorraine, who has been excellent the last few games, coming off the bench, looking a really good option. He now has 9 this season. He's got 18-19 in the league. Hopefully, if we do have to start playing 4-2-4, we're going to be able to rely on him to form a good partnership with Demalio Brown-Sterling. So we got the 3 points here, which was very pleasing. It should have been a lot more convincing than it was, but we got the points. We then went away to Stourbridge, and with our away form and the amount of goals we concede, I was very worried. But a nice 3-0 win here, and you can see again, completely dominated. Having 64% possession in non-league, I don't think that is particularly easy to achieve. I'm really, really pleased with the possession game we've played this season. Absolutely wonderful football at times. Demalio Brown-Sterling got back on the score sheet, 2 for him. And he is now in the Media Dream 11, 13-13 this season. Really pleased for him to get back on the score sheet again. His ratings have kind of gone down since we originally saw him in pre-season. I'm sure in pre-season he had 10 finishing and 9 first touch. So that has dropped. And with the small amount of training we do, players don't really improve. So I'm hoping that doesn't drop anymore. And then Jack Brown getting on the score sheet for the first time in a while, which was very nice. And I also played with Matt Richardson in defence. And he's been doing really well. You can see he's now played 7 games, 5 starts, a 7.03 rating. And as we spoke about when we signed him, he doesn't really have any exceptional abilities, but he's just really, really solid in everything. Really, really good defender. So we beat Stourbridge, so we'd recovered from our 3 defeats in a row with back-to-back wins, which was very pleasing. And then we went away to Stratford, who are struggling against relegation down at the bottom of the table. And again, completely dominated. 59% possession, 10 shots on target, 18 shots in total. They had a 0.9 xg and scored 4 goals. And in the end, we needed 2 late goals from Joel Gyasi on off the bench to rescue a point here. Demalio Brown-Sterling got one. Eli, I think that might have been his first Rushden and Diamonds goal. We were 2-2 we were 2-2 after 44 minutes when they then went ahead just before the break. When they went 4-2, it looked like the game was over. And we really can't defend. I don't know if it's bad luck or if we really just can't defend. And you can see here, Dean Snedker was absolutely appalling in this game. His form has dropped off a little of late. And so for the next game away at Banbury, we dropped him. We dropped Dean Snedker. Ford came in. He got his professional debut in this game, Tyler Ford, the ex-West Ham Academy goalkeeper. He's played the last 2 games, and a 6.5 rating is obviously not very good. but we have won both of those games. So you can see here, Banbury were actually well in this game. We had 60% possession again, but they had more shots than us. And Ravi Shamsi came up with the late winner, which was really, really nice. He got 2 goals in this game. I had actually considered dropping him because he had been on really poor form for a long, long time. But here, we had to play him on the left because Connor Furlong has also been playing very, very poorly. So Connor Furlong was left out. Ravi Shamsi moved onto the left. And he popped up with 2 goals. So I'm wondering if that might now be where we need Ravi Shamsi to play for the rest of the season. He's got a 6.8 rating for the season. But before this game, he had been on very, very poor form. With his 11 passing, 11 vision, he is a decent playmaking option. But he just hasn't done it this season. Joel Gyasi started this game after his heroics in the previous match. Didn't play well. But you can see I also started Richardson again with our captain Collard. I've kind of got to the point now where I've kind of had enough. He did play this game because Eli was suspended, and he does have a decent overall rating for the season. But I did actually after the 4-4 draw, I kind of decided that Collard wasn't really working. Maybe I'm wrong on that now, I don't know. But we also had, you can see here, we had to rest some players. Waddington and Bell Toxtall made up the midfield pairing, and they played really, really well. So again, if Ben Toxtall is going to replace Jack Brown, we'll hopefully be able to rely on him. And then at home against Alvechurch, again, we won 2-1. We went behind in the first half, again, despite the fact we were completely dominant. And it's really, really worrying. But you can see Richardson and Collard were partnering again. And Jamie O'Hara, I think the Jamie O'Hara era might be up. He is still fantastic on the ball. He's still fantastic mentally, a great leader. But physically, he just cannot do it now. Playing a pressing style, it's just not really working. His ratings have not been good enough. So I think now we have King James. I think he might be starting to get the nod over Jamie O'Hara, just based on his physical ability. If we compare the two of them, Jamie O'Hara is still far the better player with the ball. And you can see their polygons are kind of different really, but the physical side of the polygon is now absolutely abysmal for Jamie O'Hara. So you can see King James there, just the physical side of the game, an average 9 to Jamie O'Hara's average 5. Just maybe does outweigh now the 9 to 7 that Jamie O'Hara has on the technical side of the game. So I think for us to be able to be a little less vulnerable on the break, I think Jamie O'Hara's time as a starter might be up. So what's happening today? We are playing Hensford, and by virtue of our 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 games, we've got ourselves back to a situation where we could go to the top of the table again with a win. We have had 2 previous games where we could have gone top of the table. We lost both of those. Can we turn around our form now against Hensford? Hensford do have an excellent team. They have a couple of players in the Media Dream 11. We also have a couple of players in, if we have a quick look at that now. So we have Demalio Brown-Sterling and Jay Williams in the Media Dream 11. And Hensford have Ryan Price and Josevir Shergill. So defensively, I'm expecting them to be pretty good. I really, really hope we can get this done now, because if we can win this game and put ourselves level on points with Hensford, we then have a run of 4 games against mid-table or lower, when we could maybe really start to take control of this league. That is what I would obviously really like, because you can see it's still really tight. Royston are only 6 points behind Hensford in 6th place. It's such a tight league, and as I said in a previous episode, the team that really takes control of this league with a long unbeaten run, I think will end up being champion. Now, I am going to make this change. Joel Giassi is now a starter, just with the fact that we haven't been able to always rely on Connor Furlong and Ravi Shamsi. So Joel Giassi, with his pace and his finishing ability, is going to start. Now, King James, what is his best position? He is a ball-winning midfielder. I'm going to play 2 ball-winning midfielders here, which maybe is not conducive to our possession game, but I am going to see if that gives us a little bit more solidity in midfield. Jamie O'Hara drops to the bench. Outside of that, am I mad to bring Jordan Eli back in ahead of Alex Collard, who has supposedly been playing well this season? I just don't have the confidence in him. I am bringing Dean Snedker back in. Even though Tyler Ford has played the last couple of games, I just feel like for this big game, I've got to go with Dean Snedker. He is, in terms of his ratings and statistics, he is a much better goalkeeper than Tyler Ford. So I am going to bring him back in after 2 games of being dropped. Hopefully he responds. Jay Williams at right back, Richardson and Eli at centre back. Johnny Hurd, who has been playing fantastically well, is going to be our left back today. Jim Fenlon on the bench can play right or left. So Warburton, who has just come back from injury, is not going to be in the squad. King James and Waddington make up the central midfield pairing, with Giassi, Jack Brown and Ravi Shamsi in behind Brown Sterling. He is now just 3 goals off of the top scorer in our league, and he has only played 13 games. Absolutely sensational. So that is the team for today's game. And I'm going to say it now, and hopefully I remember at the end of this game. We have also had our predictions, or our report for our youth intake, which at this level, I really don't believe it, but supposedly we have an excellent attacking midfielder coming through our youth setup. That will remain to be seen in, I think it's usually about April time those players come in. So it remains to be seen if that will be the case, but supposedly we have an excellent prospect as an attacking midfielder coming through the youth setup. Our youth setup is not well rated. We have poor facilities and basic youth coaching. I think in real life, AFC Rushden Diamonds actually have quite a sophisticated youth setup for their level. Right, let's go. So our assistant is recommending that we pick up where we left off last time out. I'm just looking for a way I can say it, which will allow me to say that. So, alright, so only Jay Williams responds. My team talks are not getting any better at all. You can see nobody responded. Alright, so in midfield, Ravi Shamsi and Mark Waddington responding a little bit better. But that is all. So just a couple of players being motivated, and Jack Brown, perhaps knowing that he is going to move on, is complacent today, which is rather concerning. Now, I am just going to put Jay Williams here to mark their attacking midfielder, Shaquille Master, because with their number 10 behind 2 strikers, they have a 3 versus 2 against our central defenders. So hopefully Jay Williams, who doesn't have a winger to occupy today, he will hopefully come across without the ball and mark up their number 10. We're going with the positive mindset. Let's get into this. And come on, boys. Let's at last beat one of our championship rivals and put ourselves up on the same points. Let's really try and have a real push for automatic promotion. So Hensford have a little bit of a stronger start early on. The playoffs in this league are absolutely horrible, because you go into the playoffs against the other Southern League playoff teams, and only one can obviously go up. So I really don't want to go through the playoffs. Obviously, if I have to take playoffs as a first season achievement, I will take it. Let's just encourage the players here. We have had no highlights. Hensford have had the better of the game, even though we've had much more possession. Do you know what I'm going to do? I am actually just going to start playing to the wings, because they have no wingers. I'm going to try and get our fullbacks, as they're overlapping, I'm going to try and get them on the ball more. The goalkeeper is going to distribute to the fullbacks, and we are going to play to the wings with the idea of just trying to get some numerical superiority down the flanks with our fullbacks and our wingers. So playing with more width now, and finally we get the first highlight of the game, and Demalio Brown-Sterling has his 14th of the season, and Hurd, with his free kick ability, absolutely vital. The service he puts in, absolutely fantastic. Now, I think Jack Brown was offside there, but Brown-Sterling was not, and we are in front. Can we beat a promotion rival for the first time this season? We've scraped a couple of draws against some of the top teams, but we haven't gone that next step. So let's tell them we're pleased. Yeah, we've had lots of shots on target. I'm happy. I'll go with the assistant on that one. Hopefully they don't get complacent. Let's finish this off now, boys, as they get an early free kick and put it wide. Their first highlight of the game. Let's really get into these now, because if we can score 2 more, I think we would actually be top on goal difference. Can we really make this convincing? Let's demand more, see how they respond. Okay, they didn't like that. They are now well in control in terms of the shots on goal. They've had a lot more shots than us, as Joel Gyasi gives away a free kick. Come on, boys. No, no, no. That is far too simple for Andre Brown. That is absolutely appalling. Yeah, thank goodness for that. I mean, he's only just off. At the time, I just thought he caught Richardson out. He's only just off in the end. We've still had more shots on target, and we do have more possession, even though they have had more shots in total. Let's make some changes here. They don't like being encouraged now either. They don't like demanding more. They don't like being encouraged. What changes do we make here? Ravi Shamsi has had an average game. I am going to bring him off for Connor Furlong. Let's bring Connor Furlong in. And I'll leave Joel Gyasi in, even though he's on a booking, playing that 6.7, which for the wingers seems to be pretty good. I'm going to stick at that for the moment. Maybe we've got Alex Collard could come in for Jordan Eli, who is also only playing a 6.5. I don't want to mess too much with the defence. Let's hope Connor Furlong can come up with a performance here. I have been looking at more right wingers to see if I can get another wing option in, but it's just so hard to find any of them. I'm going to start time wasting as well. And let's stop overlapping. Let's stop taking risks, and we're going to play for set pieces. In transition, we are going to hold our shape, and we're going to slow things down. Can we see this game out as they get another highlight? This has been, in terms of highlights, a very boring game. There hasn't been a whole load of chances to speak of, as Joel Gyasi loses the ball and could be injured there. Please do not hit us on the break. And again, Richardson. This time it is going to count, I'm sure. And Richardson has lost his man there. That is awful, awful defending from Matt Richardson. Actually, I mean, he got done 2-on-1 there as they really came into us, or came onto us rather. Let's change things back up. Oh dear. And what do we do now? What changes do I want to make? Do I press a little bit harder? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to... and once again, we can't see it out against one of the top teams. What else can I do here? I'm going to bring Joel Giassi off, and I'm going to bring Tom Lorraine in. And the way we've been using Tom Lorraine is just having him play off on the edge there. I've been using him as a poacher. He's just off to the side of the main striker. And I'm going to bring Matt Richardson off for Alex Collard. He's been caught twice. I think Football Manager highlights, they often kind of give you a clue of where your problem might be. And that offside goal, I think, was maybe giving me a little hint. Last few minutes now, we've only had the highlighted goal, haven't we? We can't really complain that we haven't taken chances or anything. Disappointing, but we have to take a draw. I guess it's better than losing. Do I tell them I'm happy with the result? I'll tell them I'm happy just because I know they're going to be motivated by that. I'm not really happy, but yeah, so I've still got loads of questions about what our best lineup is, even now over halfway through the season. I'm still not sure about what our best lineup or our best system is. How can we get these games over the line? How can we see these results out? Very, very frustrating. And maybe if Jack Brown is going to leave us, maybe that will push our hand a little bit. Maybe when we went 1-0 up, I should have maybe dropped Jack Brown into midfield as well. Maybe I should have played with a defensive midfielder to occupy their number 10. So that's kind of disappointing that we didn't get the 3 points there. But now, as I say, we do have a bit of a run. So Darren Carter is coming in on a trial. He is a 38-year-old attacking midfielder. And again, we don't have the full picture. We're going to see how much he's still got left in the tank at 38. But he is possibly going to be a Jack Brown replacement. So he was playing in the Championship for Preston and then Millwall 10 years ago. Let's see if he's still got a little bit to offer. We've got to see if we're going to need that Jack Brown replacement. And the next episode, you will obviously know if Jack Brown is still with us or not. The last thing I'll show you to end this episode, if we look at youth candidates, you can see here we supposedly have a very good attacking midfielder coming through. The rest of the youth intake is appalling, really, isn't it? 3 C's and the rest are E's. No B's or D's. So, yeah, we're not expecting much from this youth intake. Lucas Rayak is pretty appalling. I mean, he's great at working with youngsters, but 1 judging player potential. And for some reason, we've got a Czech Republic native who knows absolutely nothing about English football running our youth setup. I can guarantee you he will be gone at the end of the season. I will be working without a head of youth development just to cut costs, just to get his 150 a week off of the books. So that's basically where we are. We stay third in the Southern League Central Division. If Bromsgrove Sporting win their game in hand, they can go above us. But I feel like we're kind of quite well placed. When will we be back? Let's have a look. So the immediate schedule now, as we now go 5 games unbeaten in the league. So through March, we play nobody in the top half of the table. Redditch are 10th, I think. St. Ives away in April is going to be huge. Nuneaton Borough also going for it, and Bromsgrove Sporting as well. What we might do is come back for these 2 home games, Nuneaton Borough and Bromsgrove Sporting. But basically the majority of these games here, St Ives are up in at the top half of the table. I can't remember if Colville are there, but we've got some massive games in April here. So if we just look at the league, so we've got Royston coming up. Did I see Royston? We've got Biggleswade in April. We've got St Ives in April. We've got Bromsgrove Sporting in April. That is going to be a huge, huge month. Redditch have dropped down to 13th. April is going to decide our season. It's going to decide if we've got a chance of winning the league, or if perhaps we have to settle for just a top half finish this season. Let's see how it goes. Thanks for watching. As always, if you've enjoyed that, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel so we can really help grow. And if you know a bunch of your friends that are into Football Manager, well, please think about sharing as well. We will see you for the next one. Thanks for watching Dog Turds into Diamonds.